be reevaluating and kind of second-guessing her career and her position within the company? Does she really want to be in this position, and does she really want to continue hanging on, hoping that Daniel Bryan or Nikki Bella one day will make a return when we least expect it? Now, the thing is about things like this that happen in wrestling, it happens all the time. When you least expect someone to make a turnaround with their career, either wrestler or diva, that's usually when they make a turnaround with their career, when you least expect it to happen. So you can kind of get away with saying that probably Brie Bella is going to make a turnaround with her career, either as a wrestler or a full-time general manager or manager of a talent like a Tyler Breeze, like Summer Rae is doing right now for her career. I can't say that's really doing much for Summer Rae because it's really only holding her back. But I think that the role of being a manager of someone like a Tyler Breeze probably should be given to someone like a Brie Bella right now, either that or a role of being general manager for the Divas Revolution, given everything that's been happening for it, to kind of relieve some of this pressure. Because if she was, say, a manager of a talent like a Tyler Breeze or a general manager, she kind of just got to come out just in one segment, stand in the corner of someone like Tyler Breeze, or come out and make an announcement for a match that could be happening that night or on a pay-per-view for the Divas Revolution, or what's going to be happening at a pay-per-view in the way of a pay-per-view match, probably a title defense of someone like Charlotte or a Becky Lynch to kind of promote the Divas Revolution. I think that would be a really effective way of having to do that, given the reputation of her husband, Daniel Bryan, and of course her sister, Nikki Bella, as the longest-reigning Divas champion in history, which, of course, Brie Bella once again served as the proverbial third wheel for promoting the fact that Nikki Bella was getting a push long after we had Brie Bella getting push after push in the Divas division, with how the positions changed, from Nikki Bella being the promoter of how Brie Bella was champion, and then Brie Bella going from being the champion to being the promoter of her sister, likewise being champion. So the roles were kind of being reversed all the time between the Bella twins. And after everything that they had given and done for WWE, especially the new talents coming up in the Divas Revolution, I think that they really deserve to be credited for what they did, and I think they deserve to be rewarded for everything they did after being involved with WWE since when? 2008 was when they made their debut. 2007, 2008 was when they made their debut, and they were working against people like Victoria and Jazz, and they went all the way from doing that to putting over divas like Kelly, and Eve by the late thousands, and now we've gone all the way from seeing them promoting divas like Victoria and that, and Kelly, and Eve, all the way to the Divas Revolution. So to say they haven't done a fair share of work with WWE would definitely be an understatement, because I think really they have done so much, and they deserve to be credited and rewarded and recognized for everything they've done. Sometimes more Bella twins seem to have been rewarded more than the other one was, because the other one seemed to be way more overshadowed. But I think no one is really being overshadowed when you really sit back and put it into perspective. I just think that one Bella twin, unfortunately, is suffering from everything that's happened and some of the decisions that the other one has been making. Now, coming up over the next couple of weeks here on this show, probably next week, as early as next week, I'll be elaborating on if Nikki Bella, whether or not has a future in WWE. The future of Nikki Bella is what's coming up over the next couple of weeks in the way of video blogs on my YouTube channel, as I'll be getting into conversation on how I feel about Nikki Bella's future, if in fact she has one, although it's unknown at this point in time. If she does have a future in WWE, I'll be elaborating on that, because I was always a big fan of both Bella twins, either as singles wrestlers or as a team, and I'll once again reiterate the fact of how I believe the Bella twins are far more effectively being distributed as a team than they have been for the last number of years. They were both great WWE Divas champions, and I think that can't go without any recognition or being put over on this radio show by any radio show host or columnist, for that matter, outside of this show. I think everybody should be devoting time to remembering the Bella twins for their contributions in the Divas division, and really be pushing the fact that the Bella twins need to be making a reunion. Now, it's not that the Bella twins' reign in WWE, their run, is over because of Nikki Bella departing ways with the company and putting in for time off around the same time John Cena did, because Nikki Bella very much likely could make a return in WWE, and I would be a huge fan if Nikki Bella returned when you least expected her to return, because we've seen a lot of unexpected things happening in the Divas Revolution to change it up, in the Divas division in general, for the last number of years. I mean, when you least expected it to happen, people like Gail Kim and Mickie James and Trish Stratus and Tori Wilson even would make unexpected returns when you least expected it to happen, without it being promoted, without it being teased, and then all of a sudden they would show up and you'd be thinking to yourself, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. And that's the thing about professional wrestling. We don't see enough oh my God moments, either see or hear about enough oh my God moments. I mean, Joey Styles saying the popular phrase, oh my God. I think we need to be hearing more of that in WWE. We need to be hearing more conversation about shocking things that happen all the time in wrestling on social media, and especially in the Divas division and the Divas Revolution, which, by the way, has been endorsed by Stephanie McMahon. And for something that has been endorsed by Stephanie McMahon, how can you not go without having high premonitions for the Divas Revolution and the division after having been endorsed by Stephanie. Obviously, she believes there's a lot that goes with this Divas Revolution and how it's being promoted, and I hope that she contributes to changing it in ways that nobody's contributed in changing something like the Divas division in recent years, because the same thing often enough is reiterated all the time. The same champions, the same challengers, the same kind of storylines, the same kind of feel, the same kind of energy, the same kind of excitement. Why can't we have more excitement? Why can't we have more energy? Why can't we see more unpredictable things and shocking things happening and being derived from some of the things that have happened in recent months in the Divas Revolution and the division? Because right now what the Divas division without a question is thriving off of is the Divas Revolution. So you would expect to be seeing far more creative and exuberating things happening, an overflow of creative juices, if you would, coming from WWE Creative and Stephanie, and obviously Triple H, who has a great input on everything that happens for every division, every championship, every challenger that comes up in the divisions. He obviously has a great input for. And with how I've been downing Triple H as the COO of World Wrestling Entertainment, wouldn't you think that he would be doing things far more unpredictably than what we think that he's going to do? So I think that he should be offering some input into the Divas division as well, as long as every other WWE creative member and Stephanie have their heads in the right place as well. I think it's time to start putting heads together and get those creative juices flowing and get something worth talking about going in the division, and possibly considering a Bella Twins reunion, because I think that's what's best for not only just one Bella Twin, but both of the Bella Twins, because I think they were so much more fun and so much more unpredictable to watch as a tag team, because without one Bella Twin, you can't pull off twin magic. How are you supposed to pull off twin magic with people like Alicia Fox and Brie Bella? It's not going to be as effective as doing it with Nikki and Brie from back in the day. How fans remember twin magic for happening when you least expected it to happen, to promote a title change or to have a twist happen in the storylines. And I also appreciated how they would feud amongst each other, either what brand was the better brand between Raw and SmackDown, who had the better wrestler when they were managing different talents, like when they were feuding over Daniel Bryan. That would have been fun to see something like that happen again before they broke up. So, I appreciated what the Bella Twins did, no matter if they were a team, if they were feuding against each other. The last time they feuded, of course, was to promote the fact that Stephanie was feuding with Brie Bella, and then we had a feud between Nikki and Brie develop because of how Nikki Bella, of course, was jealous of her sister's success. Now her sister was obviously being the one put over Nikki Bella, and then Nikki Bella was given an opportunity to be number one contender for the championship, obviously to promote the fact she was going to be the longest reigning Divas champion in history, off the reputation of her boyfriend, John Cena. So, there's a lot that's happened in the last 6 months in the Divas division, and I just can't imagine the Divas division having to go on without people like the Bella Twins being on the same page, because I enjoyed watching the Bella Twins on the same page, either as fan favorites, as heels, watching the reactions, hearing about the reactions the Bella Twins were getting all the time. They were obviously over with WWE, and to be honest with you, yes, I was a fan of the Bella Twins, and that's why I missed the Bella Twins more times than I probably ever admitted to you on this microphone, on this radio show. I've been a fan of the Bella Twins for what feels like forever, for most of my life as a wrestling fan, for the last near 20 years of existence as a wrestling fan. For me, I've been a fan of the Bella Twins, and that's why I missed the Bella Twins, and I think the Bella Twins couldn't return sooner in WWE, because the TV ratings would be up, the subscribers to the network would definitely be up, and the pay-per-view buy rates would be up as well, because people like the Bella Twins are what made the Divas division really exciting to watch. And I think if there ever was a time for the Bella Twins to return, that time is now, because more people will be writing about it in the written columns when you're talking about women's wrestling. More people will be talking about it on the radio shows, the video blogs on YouTube, much like these that I post every week on my YouTube channel exclusively at Jonathan Clarke 22, which, by the way, you can subscribe to by hitting subscribe at the top of the channel and getting on the conversation about. The thing is, I think this is an issue that needs to be raised. It cannot go without being recognized for far much longer, because as long as it goes without recognition, nothing is going to be done about it. It's one of these issues that deserves to be corrected and has not been corrected for far long enough, and I think this issue needs to be raised not just by myself, but also by other radio shows and columnists out there who deserve to be raising this issue also, and should be joining in on this promotion of bringing back the Bella Twins. And I hope that a lot of people share this video when you hear it, when you see it on YouTube. I hope you share it on your Facebook pages, on your Twitters, because this issue is something that hasn't been corrected for far too long, and I think it's an issue that needs to be corrected and have something done about it, because as long as these issues are being overshadowed by something else people feel they should be putting their time into more than the Bella Twins reuniting. If you can reunite the Brothers of Destruction, you can do the same thing for the Bella Twins, which takes a significant less amount of time to do, because you had to promote something like The Undertaker and Kane returning weeks before it happens. You can do the same thing with the Bella Twins, but you don't need to put so much time into promoting a reunion of the Bella Twins because this is something that can just kind of happen in the Divas division. This is something that doesn't need weeks of promotion like The Undertaker and Kane reuniting against the Wyatts last November. This is something that just can happen 1 week for the sake of it having happened on Raw or SmackDown. It doesn't need to happen at a pay-per-view and have weeks prior promotion before it does. Yes, you can have weeks of promotion for it, but it doesn't necessarily need it to have to happen just as slowly as that. It can just happen on Raw or SmackDown, and you can go from there in the way of creating a storyline to promote things happening in the Divas Revolution. After the Bella Twins reuniting, you can also offer a lot of experience to some of the Divas who are upcoming through the ranks, like Charlotte and Becky Lynch and Paige, for instance, because we know what the Bella Twins can do for someone like Paige. Let's see what they can do for people like Charlotte. Let's give Charlotte an opportunity to work with the Bella Twins more than what she's already been given that opportunity to work with the Bella Twins, and let's give an opportunity for Becky Lynch to also change the complexity of the Divas division and work with the Bella Twins, which is something she's never been given much of an opportunity to do early on in her career. Now, to say the Bella Twins are done with WWE, that would kind of just be jumping the proverbial gun because we don't know whether or not we've seen the last of the Bella Twins, although people are going on record for saying that we have seen the last of the Bella Twins. I refuse to believe that the Bella Twins are finished with WWE because I think, just as I've said, for years, that we haven't seen the last of Sting in a WWE ring. I still hold to that. I still hold to believing that we haven't seen the last of the Bella Twins, because how can you go years from now, from losing a team that you could have easily gotten 10 years out of, how can the Divas division exist without a team like the Bella Twins when you can't always rely on a Trish Stratus or a Mickie James to come in and out all the time? You can't rely on that anymore. But the Bella Twins were a team you could have easily gotten 10 years out of and created something off of. So to bring the Bella Twins back now, it wouldn't surprise me none if they did return and they offered that same experience they've been offering for years to the Divas Revolution, which has been endorsed by Stephanie McMahon. And obviously the Bella Twins are some of Stephanie and Triple H's favorites, which is why they're always being put over. They played favorites oftentimes with the Bella Twins between Brie and Nikki and from Nikki to Brie. But even though the Bella Twins have been jockeying as favorites from Triple H and Stephanie, the thing is, as a team, you can't go wrong. You can look, but you can't touch. And I think the days of the Bella Twins are far from over when it comes to World Wrestling Entertainment. So to say they don't have futures in WWE will kind of be jumping the proverbial gun, and I'm not choosing to do that because I think we haven't seen the last of the Bella Twins. Once again, you can look, but you can't touch. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, and I will see you next week.
Like what you hear? Tell us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Free